From their shared political views to their bumpy road to finding love to a crucial P.F. Chang's-inspired turning point in their relationship, there's more to this conservative power couple than it might seem on the surface. Here's the truth about Meghan McCain's marriage to Ben Domenech. Breaking news. Meghan McCain is happy that her husband, writer and TV commentator Ben Domenech, is conservative. During an appearance on The Ben Shapiro Show in late 2019, McCain heaped a whole lot of praise on her hubby and claimed right-leaning men truly do it better. She recalled, "When we went out the first time, I was like, this is a totally different vibe, and it's way better. I tell women, conservative men have better family values and they take dating and family and marriage more seriously." She also claimed that the only way she would want to get married and start a family would be with a man who shared her political ideology. And as it turns out, Domenech totally fits that bill. Meghan explained.
If you're serious, which I was when I met my husband, about getting married and having kids and wanting to go to the next phase, finally dating a conservative man was the one.
But all the way back in 2012, when McCain was reportedly more outspoken on issues like legalizing marijuana and LGBTQ rights, Domenech seemingly had no intention of dating Meghan, much less marrying her. Reportedly writing, quote, "do not want," on a retweet of an article suggesting how to score a date with the View co-host. McCain said, "Nobody is more surprised by the man I ended up marrying than me. I'm deeply in love and he's the best decision I've ever made, but he's the most conservative man I've ever met."
We will make America great again. God bless you and good night. I love you.
On a 2018 episode of The View, McCain revealed that Donald Trump accepting the 2016 Republican nomination was the impetus for her to marry her husband. Because when it came to their disappointment in their party's representative, they both found comfort in each other. She said, "I got together with my husband very quickly, which I never do. I have this theory that Trump's America makes everything more intense and heightened, because we're always talking about the threat of nuclear war, and we want to be nurtured by each other."
For real, I would not have gotten together with my husband if Trump didn't become the nominee and weren't running for president.
Really? So some good came from it?
McCain explained that while she was nursing her grief, Domenech showed up at their hotel with some orange chicken and lettuce cups, and she had a realization. She recalled, "At the Republican National Convention, when Trump accepted the nomination, I cried and cried and cried to Ben in an SUV back to our hotel room, and then he got me P.F. Chang's, and I thought, maybe I can marry this guy."
Yeah, I got married.
McCain and Domenech always knew they wanted to get married, but her dad, Senator John McCain's stage 4 brain cancer made them set a date to ensure he was able to be there. In July 2017, the late senator had a tumor removed, according to CNN, but even with treatment, the survival rate was slim, so Meghan and Ben knew they had to act. She told People magazine, "We pushed everything up. I wanted to make sure that we were all there. Why wait?" Ben also seemed to understand the critical timing of the event, adding, "This brought into focus how important it was for Meghan to have her dad see her get married, and to have that happen while he was still fully there and fully able to participate. This was something that she needed."
Do you approve of the guy? Have you met him?
Yeah, a lot. He's a jerk.
The wedding took place on the McCain family ranch in Arizona in November of that year, with John McCain walking his daughter down the aisle. Sadly, the Vietnam War hero succumbed to his cancer less than a year later. In an emotional op-ed for the New York Times in 2019, McCain got candid about suffering a miscarriage early on in her marriage. Even during her photo shoot with the outlet at the time, she knew she was losing the pregnancy. She wrote, "I look back at those pictures now and I see a woman hiding her shock and sorrow. My body told me that I was miscarrying. The confirmation from my doctor came the day of that photo shoot, at the worst possible time."
Nobody likes the word miscarriage. I think there's a lot of shame attached to it and a lot of sadness, but I'd rather talk about it than not talk about it.
McCain says that even speaking about her miscarriage is largely thought of as taboo, and explained that both the life of the child and the grief of the loss are both real and valid. She shared, "They deserve to be spoken of, shared, and mourned. These children, shockingly small, shockingly helpless, entirely the work of our love and our humanity, are children."
As a society, we are nowhere near where we need to be talking about grief and death and loss. It's hard.
But Meghan takes comfort in one simple belief. She added, "When my father passed, I took refuge in the hope that someday we would be united in the hereafter. Now I imagine it a bit differently. There is my father, and he is holding his granddaughter in his hands." McCain announced in March 2020 that she and her husband were again expecting a child. She shared on Instagram, "My husband Ben and I have been blessed to find out I'm pregnant. Although this isn't how I expected to announce my pregnancy, both we and our families are excited to share the news with you all."
I think that everyone knows this has not been a smooth road to motherhood. It's taken a lot of, physical, mental, emotional strength to get here.
Due to the pandemic, she and her doctors decided it was better for the baby if McCain contributed to the view from home. She said, "I consulted with my doctors and they advised me that for the safety of our baby and myself, I should be extra vigilant about limiting the amount of people we come in contact with. I'm fortunate that my employer, ABC, has allowed me and my co-hosts to work remotely. I am indebted to our producers and crew." Divorce rates skyrocketed in the US during the COVID-19 pandemic, according to one study, jumping 34% from 2019. It appears that being isolated long-term with your significant other is more like The Shining than a rom-com. And if you agree, McCain feels your pain. During a May 2020 episode of The View, McCain opened up about her experience, revealing, "Being in quarantine with your husband or significant other, or being in quarantine with anyone, at least for me, has been like marriage on acid. You're spending 24/7 with just one person. And so it's like I knew all these things about Ben, but it's like everything is heightened at like the 10th degree." But Meghan says they have yet to run out of topics to talk about. She explained, "I will say that all I am glad about is that I married someone I want to talk to about the news all the time. If we had nothing to talk about, which I've certainly dated men like that before, I would have certainly jumped out a window at this point."
We must elect Joe Biden.
As California's top cop, Kamala Harris saw her controversial record as the state's attorney general land squarely in the spotlight in the 2020 Democratic primary, and again when she was announced as Joe Biden's VP pick. To capitalize on that, Domenech started selling t-shirts that read "Kamala is a cop" on his website, The Federalist. And some people thought that was all McCain's doing. CNN's political analyst Joan Walsh tweeted out her disgust over the merch, writing, "Meghan McCain's husband Ben Domenech is selling these t-shirts? Are they doing it because they support Kamala, or are they just being trolls and gremlins?" McCain didn't appreciate being dragged into the mud over a t-shirt. Asking whether the media pegs Ben for everything she says on The View, Meghan quickly tweeted, "The liberal media is so bizarrely obsessed with my marriage in a way that truly is only projected onto conservative couples. Do you really think your snarky tweet will impact my marriage? We went through my father's brain cancer together. Bring your political issues up with Ben." One day after a deadly attack at a synagogue near San Diego in April 2019, McCain appeared on This Week with George Stephanopoulos and attempted to shift some of the blame to Representative Ilhan Omar for attacking the Jewish community. Before mentioning Omar's since-deleted anti-Semitic tweets, McCain said, "When we're having conversations about anti-Semitism, we should be looking at the most extreme on both sides."
Anti-Semitism shouldn't be a left or right issue. I don't think we should be politicizing it on either side.
McCain then appeared on Late Night with Seth Meyers, and let's just say things got tense. After Meyers pointed out that the Congresswoman had since apologized for the tweets and had been receiving death threats, McCain doubled down, stating,
I stand by every single thing I've said, and if that makes me unpopular in this room or in front of you, so be it.
McCain's husband watched the heated exchange and was not a fan. He wrote in a now-deleted tweet, "I see that Seth Meyers, the untalented piece of shit, went after my wife tonight with his idiotic anti-Semitic bullshit." Ben later apologized for the outburst, tweeting, "I love my wife. I apologize for rage tweeting about how Seth Meyers treated her. I don't like him. I think he's a hack, but I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry to anyone I offended." On September 28, 2020, Meghan and Ben welcomed their baby girl, Liberty Sage, according to People. The View's Twitter account confirmed the happy news, and McCain's co-host congratulated the new parents on the air.
"There is a new baby in town. We've been waiting and waiting, and she's arrived."
But if you're waiting to see a full digital photo album of their new bundle of joy, don't hold your breath. McCain's history with social media has understandably made her hesitant to share personal information. She posted to Instagram, "Ben and I have made the conscious decision to guard our growing family's privacy as much as is possible. I believe children have a right to privacy, and hope you will all understand as we navigate this as much as possible going forward without sacrificing our comfort or safety." The proud mama finally let fans in on a sweet moment with her baby girl in October 2020. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.